Epic Universe is officially open. It is there. It's happened. We went, we talked about it, and we've experienced it. I think this video is long overdue. We're finally going to be talking about everything that the families can do. If your child is going to have a great day or a bad day at Epic Universe, we are going to tell you everything that we experienced and everything that we know about the park so far. Things to take away from this whole video that will help you and your little ones have a good day at Epic Universe. So let's just jump right into it.
I'm so excited to finally be sitting down to talk about this video. What land do you want to start with first?
Well, we are going to start with everyone's favorite land, the most obvious one for the kids, and that is going to be Dark Universe. So I know what you're thinking, Dark Universe. It's not for kids. It's the scary part. We thought the same thing too. If you actually look at one of our old videos, we said the same thing. I think in like the preview video we were talking about Dark Universe. We weren't sure if it was going to be like HHN, HHN light for kids, or how was it going to be for the little ones out there. And we are proud to announce that it's actually not bad at all.
I think they definitely gave us enough for the adults to still be super happy with how they did that land, but also not too much to where kids are afraid to go there, especially like the Darkmoor village itself. Not scary at all. It is, the theming is beautiful, it's immersive, and it's gorgeous, but it's not like so scary where you feel like you're kind of walking through like a Halloween Horror Nights scare zone. So
yeah, and that reminds me, the characters, the ones that roam around. So you have Bride of Frankenstein, you have Frankenstein himself. They usually come as a package deal. Right. You also have the Invisible Man, Igor is walking around.
And they're so nice and friendly with the kids. The Invisible Man was like kind of playing with our kids, trying to scare them in the nicest way. It was just so funny. Igor is just chopping it up with the kids, just having a good time. It was really nice. But the thing that surprised me most of all is, I would say, the ride. It's like Monsters Unchained.
Yeah.
So the cute to that ride is, I would say kind of scary. I would say the cute of that ride is probably the scariest part of Darkmoor overall. So I will say, if you do have kids that are your child, and know your child.
Your
kid, and you're like, oh, my kid's not going anywhere near that. I would say the outside, walking around is fine. But if you're doing even child swap, going through that queue, they will walk through the entire queue. They will walk through the pre-show. That can be a little bit intense. Our kids were just fine. Our kids range from 1 to 8 years old, and they were all just fine going through.
I think the Grinch said it best. Kids today so desensitized by movies, television. That might be our kids, because honestly, they weren't phased at all. And I think what really helps too, and this is something maybe that you would have to think about, is you don't have enough time really to kind of just stand in line and be scared, I guess, because the line moves pretty quickly, which is actually a huge plus too. Because the thing is about Universal, you can bring your entire party in the line with you, and every single attraction has a family room, it's odd they call it that. They don't call it child swap, they call it a family room.
But you know what my favorite part is? And I they have bathrooms.
Bathrooms.
They have bathrooms, and
yes.
You know how it is, especially if you have a kid that's not riding in the first place, how every single kid will get in line, even if you ask them if they had to use the bathroom beforehand, and wait till the very end of the ride and say, oh, I have to use the bathroom.
Man,
and
it's like that's a cop-out. They know they're just afraid of the ride, but it happens.
But it's nice that Universal thought about that in mind for the family, so it's
game changer. It's a huge game changer. Every single attraction, I think the only one that I remember that doesn't have a bathroom attached is Dragon's Racers Rally. And I could be wrong on that, because I might vaguely remember going to the bathroom on that one. But definitely, I think every other attraction has a bathroom attached to or next to the family room in the rides. I could not say enough good things about that. So if you didn't know that before, now you know. That's why you're watching this video, hopefully. But the line itself. So we aren't going to focus too much on the height requirements. I'm actually just going to flash a little thing here that shows you the height requirements. Epic Universe has 11 attractions, 2 shows. And so when it comes to height requirements, 40 inches and below, we'll just put all that stuff there. Basically, we'll answer that towards the end, as what age would be best for which child to go to Epic Universe. But for right now, go back to Monsters Unchained, I don't think that it's too scary. I will say the only thing that might get to a child is how boomy the audio is. I mentioned this before in a comment from somebody. They asked the same question is, how will they be in Dark Universe? And I think the sound in Monsters Unchained is very
And a
echoey.
really good remedy for that would just be headphones. Bring headphones for your kid, especially if you have a really, really scared kid. Just bring headphones for them and, hold their hand, let them cuddle up to you in the queue. Other than that, I promise it's not scary, just in the land in general. And then they also have another ride called Curse of the Werewolf, and that is actually a family coaster. And that ride, it gets a 10 out of 10 for me, especially when it comes to families. Kids will love that ride.
Yeah, we did that ride, I think, 5-6 times
in a row.
Yeah, it was nice. It was very nice. And so what I like about it is, so it seats 2 people per row. But
four in a vehicle.
But 4 in a vehicle, and the vehicles rotate. So what I like about that was kind of cool, was even though I wasn't really with you and Aria, the ride rotated so that I could see you, so it felt like we were still in the ride together. So if you are a family of 4, it's going to be perfect. You guys might be in the same car. Family of 6, you guys are going to be able to see each other because you'll rotate every which way to be able to get on the ride. And the ride is about a minute long, so there's that. The queue is a little long because it doesn't take huge capacity, unlike Monsters Unchained. Monsters Unchained, the reason why you're moving is because the capacity is pretty nice. But Curse of the Werewolf is kind of the complete opposite of that, so do keep that in mind. You are free to wait in line with the rest of your party, or you can go directly to Child Swap because it's located right there outside next to the attraction.
And they have a bathroom as well.
And they have a really nice bathroom too. It's pretty big. And that's the other thing too. The bathrooms attached to the family rooms are a pretty decent size. You can bring a stroller wagon in there, which is what we did. I think every single bathroom, like I mentioned, is big enough, wheelchair accessible, of course, for your little ones, and you can do whatever you need to do right there.
I will say that if your kid is not somebody that likes to do rides at all, they do have the makeup experience that they can do. And I mean, what kid doesn't love face painting? They can get turned into whatever creature they want, whatever monster they want. It's just a really cool experience. I've seen it done, and one day we might have to take our kids to get it done.
Maybe one day. It's a little expensive because you know how it is with kids. One person does something and then everybody else has to go and do the same thing. I'm not trying to pay necessarily $600 for some face paint, but if you want to do that, then be sure to do so. But that is mostly Dark Universe. I mean, other than that, as far as the food at Das Steakhouse, we haven't personally eaten at Das Steakhouse yet, but they do have some kids options. Every single restaurant at Epic Universe has a kids menu of some sort, and from what we have seen so far, they do have they have chicken tenders. That's all I care about. If anything, if you cannot go wrong with chicken tenders. They have them on, I think, on a skewer or something like that. Food. Yeah, it's a safe food, but they have what you need. Now, the theming, of course, is a little scary. Yeah. I will say that the times that we have been inside Das Steakhouse, we get some people, some kids look around ooh, what is that? It's a little intense, but there's other places to go eat if you want to keep that in mind. But if you want to get a bite to eat within Dark Universe and still sample some of the food, well, the Burning Blade Tavern has a pickup window that you can place to go orders, and you can pick it up right at the window, grab a bite to eat, and then go on to the next thing so you guys can have your family meal somewhere else. And
keep things moving and going about your day a lot faster so you can do more things.
Yeah. That is Dark Universe. We are headed right over to, I think we should just cover Super Nintendo World at this point. Because, that is the next most recognizable thing for kids to be brought to.
I feel like it's a given that, of course, all of the rides there are very friendly for families, for children. They'll love the rides there. But the character meet and greets.
Oh, man.
Oh my goodness. Meeting Princess Peach, Mario and Luigi. Our kids go crazy over seeing them. And I'm telling you right now, if your kid's not into rides, that is one thing. Hands down, one of the best experiences that we've had in the park.
What's crazy is when we went, if you haven't seen our Epic Universe video, we have, like I said, we went to Epic Universe, and we do have a video on the channel. We'll actually link that in the description below. I think the most time that we spent was just seeing the land, doing the character meet and greet, which we didn't have to wait in a long line for. So I guess we could start with that. With what is the meet and greet like with Mario and Luigi? Surprisingly, I will say pay close attention to the app. They do show it on the app the times where the character meet and greets come out, and they only stay out for about 30 minutes at a time. But do try to get in line early because it can fill up fast, especially for the more popular ones like Meeting Mario and Luigi down in the center of Super Nintendo World. That is where they do their meet and greet. They usually come out from the doors right across from, right actually kind of diagonal from Toso Cafe. Trying to describe it in a way that you guys might be able to recognize it, but that is where they come out from that door. They come straight across, and the line is right next to the side underneath the piranha plant. But that is where you wait.
It's like in the very center of the park.
It's very center of the park.
I feel like you can't miss it.
But I will say that was one of those core memories, man, where it was, and if you guys have watched the channel for about, the 2 years that we've been doing this, you've seen we've done some Disney videos. We know we go to Disney every now and then, but the thing is, I don't think I've ever seen a reaction from the kids like we saw with Mario and Luigi.
Yeah.
Like, that was one of those chills down my spine, like, crying, like, because to see just the pure joy on their faces, like, it's not like they grew up watching Mario or playing Mario Kart. They play now.
But the movie just set it off for them.
The movie,
and that just made them so excited.
That movie was phenomenal. And then you have How to Train Your Dragon, which we'll talk about next. The reaction is greater than anything I've ever experienced or ever seen at anything that we've done.
I will say, I definitely think a big part of that, and this is not just for children, adults, I would highly encourage you to do the same thing. Go out and watch these movies that are in the parks before you go and visit them, because the experience that you have when you know what you're going into, you know who the characters are, it forms that connection that you just can't, it's just something that you can't beat.
Yeah, and so with that is the character meet and greet. They also do have a meet and greet for Toad. He also sometimes comes down to the center.
He's so cute.
Pay attention to the app. That does show the times for the different characters. Meet Peach has a little castle meet and greet. Actually, as soon as you come into the land, you look over to your right. That is where the Princess Peach meet and greet is. So far, they don't have any other characters that you can meet and greet within that specific area, but they do have Donkey Kong right there across in Donkey Kong Country that you can now do meet and greets with as well. So we haven't done that one yet. We have to try that one next time. No, not yet.
But even outside of the meet and greets, there's a lot of interactive play elements too. I mean, it's like you're in a real life video game. It's like you shrunk down and you're just getting into the world of Nintendo and you're going around playing. Like in Donkey Kong, they have the drums that the kids can play, and it's just so much fun. Of like, what kid doesn't like to beat on that kind of stuff? And even like in the main world itself, they have the power-up bands that you can use to like hit the little blocks and everything, and it's just so much fun. And a lot of them will still make those noises even if you don't have power-up bands, because I think they're like $42,
$45.
So if your kid isn't a ride person, I highly recommend you getting a power-up band so that way they can at least have that experience and feel like they're really getting to do everything that they can.
And if you were to total up everything that they can do in the land that's just from interactive play, and look, this is why, we said it before, you're going to need more than one day at Epic Universe. We wish we had done more than one day, honestly. But to do all those activities that are in the land, plus the meet and greets, plus the 2 rides that are in Super Mario World alone, Yoshi's Adventure, which of course is family friendly, it's an Omni Mover attraction. We'll probably get into that a little bit. But of course you have that, Mario Kart Browser's Challenge. You have the 2 attractions, the meet and greets, the play. You can easily spend, I would say, at least more than half of the day in Super Nintendo World alone. And that's the Super Nintendo World. And then you have Donkey Kong Country right behind it with more interactive play elements. Another ride, another meet and greet. Berk has the same issue.
There's just too much to do and too much to see.
You will lose the entire day.
The 2 best lands that Epic has are geared towards children.
Yeah. With Super Nintendo World, so we know the ride, Bowser's Challenge, it has a height requirement of at least 42 inches and above, which basically means, for context, like I said, hey, your 4-year-old and up can get on that ride. Our 4-year-old was able to get on that ride, no problem at all. But then you have Yoshi's Adventure. The only downside I will say about Yoshi's Adventure, of course you can all wait in line before, but like we said in a previous video, it only seats 2 people per row.
So if you have a bigger family, and I mean, I was going to say, even like if you have 2 parents and 1 child, one parent's going to be riding in another vehicle behind you, so.
Yeah, so say like your family of 5, and assuming all of you guys can ride the ride. Matter of fact, when we went, we skipped Yoshi's Adventure because Well, I guess there was always going to be an odd man out, basically, and because of that, it's like
I mean, you can always child swap, but then it's just like
yeah.
it just takes up unnecessary time. But if there's a ride that you really want to do when you go, no matter how it fits, make sure you guys do the ride.
And hey, to be fair, they do have the same type of system like with the Seuss Trolley Train ride at Islands Adventure. That's the most similar ride to this one. And if you have a child that is above, I believe, 48 inches, the other child can ride next to them, so they don't necessarily have to be with a parent. So in our case, it could have worked out that way because the oldest could have sat with one of the younger children, and
They'll let her sit by herself. So at Universal, I know it's different. At Universal, like she'll be able to sit by herself, but she won't be able to sit with one of her younger siblings, if that makes sense.
Okay, but they can exactly, by herself, because on Cat in the Hat, it's the same rules still apply.
They let her sit in her own row or in her own car if she wants to, and the other two have to like sit with me. So
yeah, so not a big deal, but do keep that in mind. I mean, if that affects you, well, we told you. So, but now we're going on to Donkey Kong Country. Minecart Madness is the signature attraction here, and I would say with that one, it's kind of the same thing. Now, at least in the queue, there's a lot to look at. So that ride typically sees some heavier wait times throughout the day. And, if your child is impatient, it might not be the best thing to wait for. As a matter of fact, we did end up skipping it the day that we went, not because it's not a good ride. It's just because
the wait was really, really long.
The wait's really long. It only takes 2 people per row, 4 people per cart, and so kind of the same rules as far as the capacity goes. It's not really a good fit for us just because, I'm sure on the ride it's fine, but, we have to get split up, and then on top of that, the wait time is just a little bit
It's usually difficult. A pretty long wait,
but
I will say that.
You also do have, if you have the disability pass, Universal has always been really good about the disability pass. So if your child has, say, anxiety or has, maybe be on the spectrum, then there are accommodations for that, and you can freely use your disability pass, and the team members are more than accommodating for that. So
absolutely, like you can go up, get your time, leave. You don't have to wait in line. Go play some games, grab some food, grab some snacks, and then come back when it's your time, and you go right up through the front. And also, if it applies to you, they also do have stroller passes. So all attractions have an elevator of some sort. If there are stairs, and y'all know how Epic Universe is with them stairs, but they are all wheelchair accessible. So there is an elevator in almost every attraction that has, basically every attraction that has stairs, Donkey Kong included, has an elevator. If you have a stroller pass, that means you're able to bring your stroller pass in the line, and you can bring it with you up on the elevator. It's the same accommodations that you have at the other 2 parks. So that is also good to know if that you find yourself in that boat. Now, we're going to head out of Super Nintendo. We're going to Celestia Park. Basically, we all know where the attractions are here. Astronomica, Carousel, and also, Stardust Racers doesn't count unless you have older kids, but yeah, that's a pretty steep height requirement, 48 inches, so we won't talk about that.
But for context,
it's really nice to look at, especially at night. I don't know a kid that wouldn't stand there mesmerized, like, wow.
So our 8-year-old is tall enough to get on Stardust Racers, which I think is the typical height, maybe the typical age that you might be ready for roller coasters.
We haven't taken her on yet just because we didn't have time to do it, but wow, that will be interesting to see how she reacts. Maybe
next time. But they do have the, like I said, the splash pad, the Constellation Carousel, and of course younger children can ride that. It's a splash pad. What more can I say with that?
Celestia Park doesn't have a lot of shade, so taking advantage of that splash pad and letting your kids run around out there and just get soaked is a big bonus. But you know what they also have, outside of the carousel, which is really nice, Celestia Park has the family center. So the family center, what we have in the Universal Orlando parks right now in Universal Studios, they have a family center as well that's located next to the Studio Audience Center. I feel like we're the only ones that be talking about that. I know, because it's an amazing place. And what I like about this one is it's like the last family center, but with upgrades.
They have a vending machine.
I was gonna say it's even bigger. They even set out like paper and crayons for the kids to color. They have like these little tables that they can sit at. It has a nursing room. It has a sensory room, so it's nice and dark and cool in there. You can go inside if your kid just needs to like step away and just get out of the sun, get away from the crowds. It's the perfect place to go. And I'm not saying we know this from experience, but you can get diapers from there if you happen to run out while you're in the park.
While you're in the park. Yeah. So, like we said, they have basically everything you need. They have a vending machine. It's got all your like different medicines in there. Anything that you need, instead of having to, ask a team member go behind a counter and buy it from them directly, you can now go to the vending machine and help yourself. They have nursing rooms, playrooms, all those things. And did I mention it is air conditioned? And the AC is good in there too. It's actually right next to the first aid center. So I guess while we're in Celestial Park, we might as well talk about some of the eating places over there too. What would be your go-to for bringing the whole crew at Epic Universe?
Pizza Moon. 100% Pizza Moon. Pizza Moon, I kid you not, in my opinion, is better than any of like the local pizza spots that we could go to, even outside of the parks. It is so good, you guys. I promise it is worth breaking the bank for.
And speaking of breaking the bank, you don't have to do that because we spent not much money at all, and we got dessert too. It's actually in our video from Epic Universe. We went to Pizza Moon and we got 3 different pizzas, right? It was a 2 or 3. No, we got 3 because we got 2 pepperoni pizzas and then we got the trip to Vesuvio.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we also got like a little brownie pizza dish.
And I think we did all that for, it was like $50-something.
It was like under $50 or right around $50.
Yeah, $50.
Not bad at all. And of course, like, pizza's a safe food. And what kid doesn't like pizza?
Yeah.
Like,
especially when it's hot outside. And I know, the first thing you're not thinking of is greasy food, but we actually had it at night too. So that helps a little bit.
It helped a lot.
Yeah.
After that long day, like sitting down, getting off of our feet, it was just like pizza.
That was like the best cheat meal you can possibly think of. It's like you just had this whole workout and then you're eating pizza to finish it off. But seriously though, it was not only cost effective, everybody loves it, like the food itself is good, but then on top of that is the theme, like the theming. I don't know, Pizza Moon is literally the perfect restaurant out of the theme park, and it fed everybody. We have a bigger family. We have a family of, there's 7 of us, and now our youngest is eating pizza. And yeah, we would highly recommend Pizza Moon as the #1 spot to go to for obvious reasons. I think you all can agree. But let's go on to Wizarding World. I don't think there's much to talk about there. Honestly, like Wizarding World, I think the reason why we go there is for the attraction. But the attraction, surprisingly, is very accommodating.
I was going to say, I know we're not focusing like too much on rides with this video, but for that to be the best ride in the park and still be only a 40-inch height requirement is kind of insane.
Pretty
if you
insane,
think about it. That ride is nothing short of amazing. It's literally probably my favorite theme park ride that I've ever done in any park, not just Epic. So I think your kids will definitely enjoy it. It's not rough. It's not scary. It's perfect.
Yeah, it really is that. Because, the ride system itself, if you're not familiar, without spoiling it, I guess, the ride system is, some say, very similar to Spider-Man. I don't see it. I feel like it's a hybrid between Tower of Terror in how you sit and how it's presented. But there are no really no drops at all, really.
So I want to be careful with those words because I actually witnessed this happen in front of me. There were of course, people are looking at the ride itself and thinking, oh, this is going to be like Tower of Terror. It is nothing like that. The vehicle itself does look like it when you're getting in, but the ride itself is not like that. I had a kid, their parents got all the way through the line and their kid refused to get on because they swear it was going to be like some crazy thrill drop ride. I promise you that's not going to happen. Your kids will, it's very, very calm. Your kids are not going to have a problem with it. If they don't like the drop rides, just tell them. I promise. I saw Meet the Robertsons video on YouTube and they said it's not like that.
Yeah, they saw our video. Yeah, that's right. And look, it's just like that. I think that's where the comparisons to Spider-Man come in, because Spider-Man, by that logic, Spider-Man has a drop. So if you can handle Spider-Man, you can easily handle this ride, and it is, like Ashley said, the best ride in the entire park. You know, I know some people like Monsters Unchained, but as far as being family friendly, like from the height requirement alone, you can go based off of that and say, okay, this might be a good fit. But again, know your child. If they aren't really into dark, you know, spaces, it does put the dark in dark ride. It's not exactly, you know, well lit or anything like that. So
yeah, if anything, I was more so scared because I didn't know what was happening, and it like things were so open that I was just like, is something gonna pop out at me? And it's just like nothing like that will happen. It's very fun, not scary. It's a great ride. But one thing I do like about that land is not only is the ride amazing, but they're also one of the only 2 lands that has a show. Yeah. And that show, our kids loved it. Like they're still to this day asking us like, can we go back and see that show? I love that show. So I will say the pre-show even kind of like spooked me a little bit.
I think the pre-show might be more, you know, a little bit more to get over than the actual show.
Yeah, so I can see like if you have younger kids, I can see them kind of getting a little freaked out over the pre-show for this show. But I would definitely say maybe show them a YouTube video, like a POV of the show before you go if you know you have kids that can get scared easily. Other than that, it's a really nice experience. Definitely great for the whole family.
And of course, in the rest of Wizarding World, you have your wands experiences, different things within the shops, lots of interactivity within the land, and actually it was kind of cool. The worker was really nice and let Arya try out one of the wands and do I'm not sure what
it was, like the water
was. Yeah.
I don't know, something was popping out,
spraying water at us.
Yeah,
it's actually right outside the Battle of the Ministry attraction. If you look over to your left, you're going to see like this goblin looking thing just pops his head out every now and then, spits water at people. That is pretty much what you can expect within the Wizarding World. They have performers and, you know, foreign exchange students and different people walking throughout. You have some music performances. It's a pretty nice vibe out there. It's obviously nothing scary going on there. But let's talk about the real reason why we are here. It is How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk. If we go to Berk, the only thing I even need to say about this is you can and you will easily lose your entire day in this land because there's so much to do. Actually, I'm gonna let you take this one. Like, just take them through Berk real quick.
They have dragons.
They have
like,
dragons.
Do I need to say any more? So, okay, I know we talked about the Mario and Luigi meet and greet earlier and how our kids like went crazy over that. We've never seen them like that before. But we went to Berk and this was our first time there. And like we said, you can lose an entire day there. The one thing, there was 2 things we didn't get to do there. But the one thing that we really wanted to, that we just couldn't do when we went, was meet Toothless. Yeah. And he is like he's the alpha dragon. Yeah. He is the star of the show. And I'm telling you, when we go back, our kids are going to go crazy. I promise you. Like, this is why I say make sure that you watch the movies, make sure your kids watch the movies, because this is an experience that I hear grown adults crying over something like this. So bring your kids, let them touch. You can touch it. They can touch the dragon.
That to me is wow, because the thing is, so obviously with it being the most popular attraction in the land, it's going to have the longest wait time. Typically, do it first. And typically those wait times get to about 60 minutes. Maybe I've seen longer. I've seen 120 minutes. It's crazy just to be Toothless. And remember, it's the same thing. You know, they have to switch people in and out. It's not like a ride to where it can keep moving. It's going to stop at some points to give them some breaks. And a thing I never hear anybody talking about or doing is when the park first opens, go straight to Berk. Do that first. Monsters Unchained, we made the fatal mistake of thinking like, oh, we gotta go to Dark Universe. Monsters Unchained Monsters Unchained doesn't hardly get above 30 minutes throughout the day. Go straight to Berk and go do that meet and greet first, because that's the thing that you have almost no chance of getting on or experiencing without having to lose more time throughout the day. And that's something that we are going to do different next time. There is another show within the land. It is the Untrainable Dragon. And that show is definitely worth it. We didn't know what to expect either. I mean, I guess we had an idea. Like, we knew it was going to be a nice show for kids and all that. Right. But I don't think we knew that it was going to be on the level that it actually was.
I didn't know my kids were going to enjoy that show as much as they did.
Yeah.
That quite surprised me. Even our son, who just like, he's usually pretty chill, and he'll just like sit there and watch the whole time and just stare and not react. And that had him getting up, singing and dancing. So I would say that is a huge hit for the kids. And he's only 2 years old, so it definitely kept his attention the entire time.
Speaking of being 2 years old, so the cool thing about Berk is not only does it have, of course it has a playground, which we know about, the Viking training camp, but the rides there, other than Dragons Racers Rally, the other two attractions in the land, a 2-year-old can get on. Fire Drill, which is the boat ride that goes around, you get wet, you splash the targets.
A 1-year-old can get on that ride. As long as your kid can stand up on their own, they can get on that ride.
Yeah, and you can get as wet or as dry as you want to. The only downside to that is I would probably say that it might be a little difficult for them to actually play and interact with the boat and play the games, because you gotta hit the targets. There are only certain targets that actually get you wet. Just spraying the targets doesn't really do anything. You have to spray the blue ones, because that's what actually gets you wet. Those are actually a little bit harder to spray. Probably do it for them and
so
double
was
up on
Jaden
that.
tall enough to reach?
He could reach the cannon, but he couldn't really spray anything because, 2-year-old.
I was going to say, at that age, kids are kind of just there to enjoy. They're just along for the ride at that point.
Which is another thing that we always talk about. If you haven't seen, if you're new to our channel, welcome. We're the Robertsons. We have a family of 7, or 5 kiddos now. And we always stress this. It's like, they put these parks and these little play areas in theme parks because a child that young doesn't really care about how many rides they get on. Like, let's be real. Like, I think probably at the age of, our 4-year-old, they're keeping score now, but
I know.
They tell us, we went on 2 rides today. So I would probably say you have nothing to worry about until at least 4 or 5. But when they're that age, they can pretty much ride everything in this park. Fire Drill, of course, anybody can ride, and then you also have Hiccup's Wing Gliders, which is arguably, some say like that's the best ride in the park.
So for this to be a family coaster, a ride that children 40 inches and over can get on it, to hear like even adults talking about this ride and saying it was the best, I cried when I got off of that ride. Okay, it was an emotional roller coaster.
Okay, a roller coaster. Yeah. But it was a roller coaster.
I cracked myself up.
Cut that out.
No. But it was so good. If there's anything that you have to do in Epic in general, I would say it is meeting Toothless and getting on Hiccup's Wing Gliders. Those are the 2 things that I highly recommend. Yeah, especially if you have kids. The
cool thing about Hiccup's Wing Gliders is that it's really satisfying for both people, for both the adult and the child, because I would say it's a lighter version of Expedition Everest at Disney, which is, very similar to train ride, 2-seater, 2 people per row. But because this ride does go backwards, a little bit, but it's got that perfect mixture of some speed here and there, but nothing too intense that a child that's at 2 years old couldn't ride. Super satisfying for even the adult. Like it gets everyone. Like there's that, of course it has audio, it has music playing while you're riding the attraction. I
think that's the best part.
Yeah, and you can hear Hiccup's voice. He's basically teaching you how to train a dragon. So it's pretty crazy stuff. And Berk, I think, like we said, when we went to Epic Universe, we lost the entire day.
So much time.
Like I think we spent because we had 10 hours, I think, for that day, because we went on the first day of the Passover previews. So we had a little bit of a shorter schedule. So we really had to maximize our time and really focus on what was important and what wasn't. But I think that's pretty much all to cover in Berk. If you haven't checked out our video, we actually got to try the mac and cheese cone. We got the PB&J. Maybe we'll try something different.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, and super shareable too. So if you want to save money, it is $16, and you can, I think we shared it with all of us, and I think one was good enough really for everyone.
Yeah, definitely a hearty snack. There's one thing Isle of Berk can do, it's hearty food.
Yeah, and we haven't gotten a chance to try Meat Hall yet. So I have eaten there one time, and I had a different type of meal, but I do know that they have kids' meals, chicken tenders they have, and they actually get a cool little, it reminds me of Burger King, like the boats for the kids. It's packaged really well, So that is something that we're excited to do next time we go back. And if you have tried some of those things, let us know what we should try next time we go back.
I need to know, because I think we're gonna try to go soon. So let me know, like, for adults, kids, what do you guys like from there if you've been?
Mm-hmm. If you've been, not what you saw online, because trust me, it is a different experience being there in person than what you see out there online. But I believe we have covered everything so far for families. I mean, and hopefully that information was helpful to you. I know we know these videos don't get a lot of views. We know it's not a super popular subject to talk about kids at Universal, especially Epic Universe, but we don't mind that. I mean, that's what we started the channel for.
It's not popular, but definitely necessary.
Very necessary. So if you did enjoy that, if you got something from it, be sure to give us a like. That really helps the channel, helps us grow. Look, we're still a small channel, and we appreciate any support, any comments that you guys give us. We are more than appreciative of this journey that we've been on with YouTube. It's been a fun ride with you guys, and we just wanted to say thank you for watching and commenting, or even showing any sort of support, whether it be here or on Instagram. We love you guys, and we can't wait to do this again. We will see you all on the next one.